What's up, YouTube? And this week I will review A View to a Kill, the final performance of Roger Moore as James Bond, and the final performance of Lois Maxwell as M Secretary Miss Moneypenny, which she played it from the first canon Bond movie of Doctor No to View to a Kill. For so in a long span of longest performance of a said actress playing that character. And of course, you got, like I said, the final performance of Roger Moore on a so-called excellent movie, excellent casted movie. I mean, come on, Christopher Walken as the villain, Tanya Roberts as the love interest. And I'll say Tanya Roberts as the love interest. Excellent choice. So-called underrated actress, from being a Charlie's Angel, then after A View to Kill, she played Donna's mama on that '70s show. Excellent actress. Though surprisingly, behind the scenes, I heard from according to Internet Movie Database, I heard they didn't get. She was a bitch and they didn't get along. And surprisingly, that was one reason Roger Moore decided to hang it up was because he met her mom and said that he realized he was older than her. Which you gotta say, Roger Moore was pretty much the oldest Bond. To start off in his late 40s in Live and Let Die, which that will be another review for another day. And of course, Grace Jones as the badass Mayday. And I gotta say, when it comes to the 80s, she played a good villain. And I mean, although in her case, I'm surprised there wasn't an episode A-Team where she played B.A.'s sister, because she's what Mr. T would look like as a woman. And if you're watching this, y'all, it's a joke. Take a joke, people. And of course, Christopher Walken as the dastard, as the most sadistic baddie, Max Zorin. And when it comes to any role movie, oh, you can say old Walken can knock it out of the park. And he's one of the few actors that can make the worst of movies watchable. And given that his origin was that he was a Nazi test tube from experimented by his buddy Dr. Martner, aka Heinz Glau, based off Dr. Joseph Mengele, who was Hitler's top scientist, one of them, to say, in World War II. And, of course, you gotta have some epic chase scenes and team-ups, like how in the first act he teams up with Patrick Macnee, aka John Steed of the Avengers, and I ain't talking about the Marvel Avengers, mind you. I'm talking about from the '60s spy series, which also had Diana Rick, who played Tracy Draco in Managing Secret Service, which that's for another movie review. And of course, you got some epic scenes and the chase scenes, like in Paris after Aubergine, Bond's contact gets killed at some show by Mayday, and then Bond has to chase after her in a stolen after he jacks a taxi. And like I say, that was not good advertisement for the French automaker Renault. Given how Bond tore that thing off like Buford T. Justice smoking into Bandit. And like I say, when it comes to the movie Getaway Drivers, James Bond is a Michael Waltrip of Getaway Drivers. I'll say this much. I mean, he wrecks more. I mean, because he never brought in because like Q said about how, always told him about how bringing this equipment back in pristine order. Does Bond ever bring it back in pristine order? I don't think so. And of course, the fire truck chase. You gotta say, when it comes to movies in San Francisco, you gotta San Francisco always makes a good place for movie chases, as in Bullet, which that's for another review, and of course, surprisingly, Chuck Wade of his one-off performance. Surprisingly, where was Felix Leiter at? Usually when Bond goes to the Americas, he's got to have Felix Leiter on his side, which was kind of dumb for the larger more movies of to do like how I mentioned in my Moonraker review of how of those scenes. But should I mention the beginning act when he's in Siberia retracing the microchip off Double O's Freeze body and Russians tear up a snow machine that turns into a snowboard, and talk about an epic use of a Beach Boys song in a movie. I mean, come on. Like should have did a scene in Die Another Day with like with like one of the Beach Boys or Janet Dean songs, which that's for I'm going to save that one opinion for another movie. And shall I say of how you got to admit how the whole plot of Flood Silicon Valley with surprisingly just by blowing up the San Andreas fault line in that movie. I mean, God, come on. You got to think about how the scene in the final act when Bond and Stacey Sutton, played by Tanya Roberts, is running or infiltrating old Zorn's compound hideout, which is that mine. And I'm just like, did all those miners ever think about what that job was? Realize what was going on before Scarpine and Zorn started killing everybody? Sorry for spoilers, but hey, that's like a review channel. It's hard to do reviews without spoilers. Am I right, people? Back to that chase, that taxi chase. Talk about some epic stunts but how does that thing tore up and such? I mean, because old Bond could drive that thing. I mean, he handled that thing like Dale Sr. in the '97 Daytona 500. Don't mean to get off topic with the NASCAR stuff, but hey, to my NASCAR fans who are watching this, y'all get the references, and of course, by how one of the few Bond movies that have apparent reappearances of actors in different roles, like how Manning Redroad, who played Bob Connolly, who also appeared in the non-canon Never Say Never Again, which is Sean Connery's final role, which I'm going to say that rest of that I'm going to save for another review. But overall, View to a Kill, a 5 out of 5 when it comes to excellent chase scenes, fight scenes, and the fact that Christopher Walken makes a good villain, of course, and Grace Jones as excellent in the '90s, and of course, and some flaws in it was like the lack of gunplay of how Bond never kept up his gun over, didn't fire a few shots in the Alpha Tower at Mayday in the first act over when they were just investigating over how Zorn was originally rigging horse races, had a horse had a venture in horse racing, and that which got Bond too close. And shall I mention that this movie was actually the first movie for Dolph Lundgren, though he gets a cameo when he's in a scene where he gets an appearance by. Gets one of the few scenes by General Gogol. And of course, he had Pele Vanova, which is a one-off Bond girl type deal. Unsurprisingly, only came around because Barbara Bach, who played Major Amasova in Spy Who Loved Me, was supposed to come back, but she turned it down. And of course, you got to give it to old Walter Gotell, who always knocked it out of the park playing old General Gogol. And of course, well, yeah, a lot of people knocked it out of the park of that movie. And let's just say another flaw was that whole Spawn's second encounter with Stacey Sutton when he's infiltrating her house, and she points the shotgun at him, loaded with rock salt. And I mean, rock salt, that might be good for an episode of Supernatural, but for a Bond movie, not an effective round of ammo. And I mean, California might have some strict laws. Don't mean to sound political there, but I mean, damn. Could have had like a more practical act shootout scene. Given that go around, Bond could have kept up with his Waffle PPK in that movie, but still. But like that scene when in the city hall when Bond and Sutton get confronted by Jenny Flex, who played by Alison Doody, and I gotta admit that's a weird name for an actress. And of course, Mayday and Zorn himself, right before he kills the old Commissioner Hal in his brief appearance and in the city hall scenes and the fire. And I'm about that Zorin, he could not whoop Bond. I could say this much. And how he betrayed Mayday, and how Mayday actually did a heroic sacrifice of herself to save others, which kind of made her one of the most popular villains in Bond's Rogues Gallery. When later on a playable character in the multiplayer of the Goldfinger game, the GoldenEye game in N64. And overall, a 5 out of 5. I mean, come on, I gotta be one of the greatest Bond movies, and you gotta admit, old Bond went out with a bang on that one. Enjoy.